So you're considering on moving to the city of Welland and you want to learn a little bit more about it before making the leap. I'm hoping that this video will provide you some insight on some of the positives that I experienced about living in the city of Welland. I moved here about 2 years ago. I'm a realtor with Remax Niagara, and I thought, I can share that with you because these are some things I wish I knew before moving to the city. By the way, at the end of this video, I've left another video that will show you some of the negatives that I've experienced about living in the city, just to kind of provide a little bit of balance. This list that I'm going to share, it's in no order of importance, but I would love to hear from you guys. So stick around to the end because I want to know which one had the greatest value, which one stood out the most for you. So let's get started. All right, let's get this list kicked off with number one, and that is Maclean's magazine actually put out an article ranking 408 Canadian cities throughout Canada, right? And Welland ranked number 15 in terms of livability, and amenities was one of the biggest strengths that helped push it up the rankings. Out of the cities in the Niagara Region, it ranked higher than St. Catharines and Niagara Falls. So that should give you an indication of the quality of life that you can experience living in Welland, Ontario. Number two on the list is something that my mom has instilled in me, which is you can sacrifice on pretty much anything except for the food that goes into your body. You are a fire and you got to bring the cleanest burning fuel that you possibly can. So if you're into connecting with local farmers or perhaps going to places like this where they sell, fruits and veggies directly grown from Ontario to you, then maybe Welland could be a place where you might want to, be a part of, because pretty much within a 10-15 minute drive, you have access to places like this. Number three, which is fishing. Yes, you have the canal over here, and then just beyond that wall is the Welland River, and you'll see a lot of people cast their lines out in these waters, and they'll fish recreationally as well as getting, food to eat. And actually at that point right over there, someone has labeled on Google Maps a fishing spot for comida, which is food in Spanish and Portuguese. But I'm not into fishing. I'm not a guru or anything like that, but honestly, I've seen so many people, my daughter and I have seen so many people fishing out here that we both are now starting to take an interest. And what a great way to be able to unwind, unplug from your phone and internet and just the busyness of life, and be able to hang out and cast your lines and see whether or not you might be able to get a nibble. It's pretty awesome. And by the way, the recreational path is on that side, and then this is the Merrittville Island side, so there's also a little recreational path here, which I'll talk about recreational stuff in just a moment. Number four is that Welland is open for business. Not only is Welland shovel ready for creating new homes, they're shovel ready for creating new businesses too. Like right behind me is the new Linamar Giga casting factory, which is going to employ over 200 people. This is going to be part of the value add supply chain for EVs. And what's great about Welland is that it has 2 Class 1 rail lines that go through it, as well as 2 commercial trucking cross-border points. Welland is in between 2 major markets. You have the Greater Toronto Hamilton area, which is probably about 60% of the consumer goods or consumer market for Canada, and then you also have the United States. And if I'm not mistaken, within a day's worth of trucking, you can access about 60 to 70% of the U.S. market. So not only is it great for homes, it's also great for business. Number five is home affordability. There's 2 neighborhoods in Welland that are probably among the most affordable in the 3 cities in the Niagara region. And actually just right behind me over here, there's a house for sale. And just to kind of demonstrate, how affordable some of these prices are, this is an 1,100 square foot home that's got 2 stories. It's brick. It's a former rental unit. It is a much older house, but it's going for $299. That's really, really affordable. And these neighborhoods, they have a pretty wide range of prices, starting at around $280 at the time of recording and going all the way up to $900,000. And these 2 neighborhoods would be Lincoln-Crowland and downtown, which is where I am right now. So this is the downtown neighborhood. So if you are looking for, your first home, or you want to be able to downsize or get something a little bit more affordable, you might want to consider looking in Lincoln-Crowland or the downtown neighborhoods of Welland. Number 6 is going to be the ability to raise a family in Welland. I think it's a great strength for the city because I feel like your dollar stretches out a little bit more here than in some other places. I've mentioned beforehand that there are a couple neighborhoods that are here that have a pretty broad spectrum when it comes to home prices. And if you're, that person or that family that's looking to get, their own place, they're tired of renting and spending 100% interest rate on renting, I feel like there's a little bit more opportunity here. And if you don't have a realtor, you can reach out to me. You can text Meet Manny. I'm going to leave this number over here, and I can connect with you if you're looking to buy a home. I help people relocate to the city as well as move within the city. So feel free to reach out. But in addition to that, I find that there's quite a bit of variety when it comes to education. You have public and Catholic school districts that are here, as well as English and French, because Welland is officially a bilingual city, and that goes right up to the high school level. You have Niagara College, Welland campus, that's located in the North Welland neighborhood. So when it comes to education, I feel like there's quite a bit of variety. I don't want to harp on the sports because I am into sports, but there's a lot to offer your kids, from early age all the way up to, I would say, young adult age. So if you're looking to get your kids into tennis, golfing, hockey, baseball, basketball, there's a lot of programs that are throughout the city that allows your kids to participate in. So if that's something that you're into, definitely Welland will be able to offer that up for you. And as well as camps and that kind of stuff, throughout the summer when school is out. So I feel like there's a tremendous amount of value there. I'd love to learn from you guys. If you think that's valuable to you, just leave it in the comments section below. Number 7 is the ability to drive 20 to 50 minutes to reach larger cities. So for example, I can get to St. Catharines and Niagara Falls in about 20 minutes. If I want to go to Buffalo, New York, depending on the bridge traffic, could be anywhere between 35 to 50 minutes, maybe even longer. But I can also reach out to Hamilton in about 45 to 50 minutes, depending on where in Hamilton. So say, for example, I can't get something in Welland, like IKEA. I can travel out to Hamilton and check out the showroom there. Or perhaps you work in Hamilton and you're thinking about relocating to Welland and you're not quite sure about the commute. I know lots of people that do that every day, and there's a couple of different ways to get out to Hamilton, not just through the QEW. Anyhow, the point is that if Welland doesn't offer you something specific, you're bound to find it in one of the larger cities in about 50 minutes or less. So number 8 is outdoor recreational. I'm standing on a path here that allows cyclists to travel all the way down to the town of Port Colborne to the south and to the city of St. Catharines to the north. It's actually a part of a greater Niagara Region cycling network. You can technically get anywhere in the Niagara Region by bike, which is pretty cool. You don't have to have a bicycle in order to use the path. Obviously, you can walk with your dog, you can jog, you can run, you can just go for a leisurely stroll. It's just a great place to take in the nature, which is amazing. And right beside it is the recreational water canal, which allows no motorized craft on the water. So you have to have, a paddle like a kayak, a paddle craft like a kayak, a canoe, or even paddleboard. And if you don't have one or you don't have space to store one, the city of Welland actually has a place not too far north of here that will rent the equipment out. So you can rent a kayak, you can rent a single or a tandem kayak, which is pretty cool. And that way you can go out with yourself or your family, which is pretty amazing. So outdoor recreational is something that definitely shines in Welland, Ontario. I'm sitting on some sun-bleached seats over here at the International Flatwater Center. This place hosts international, national, and local events that have to deal with rowing. And I believe the Dragon Boat Fest is also hosted here. Welland is a sports city, and it's not just here, it's not just flat water sports, but we also have Young Sports Plex, which allows for indoor golfing range. You can sign up for your kids and up to adults, if I'm not mistaken, for soccer and tennis. We also have, right where the Welland Jackfish hosts their team, you have baseball diamonds that are in and around that area, not to mention Chippewa Park also has an artificial beach volleyball area and also some more baseball diamonds. There's lots of programs. not just only on land, but also in water that Welland has to offer. So I'm sure if you do a little Google search and on sports within the city and what you can participate in or what your kids can participate in, I'm sure you'll be able to find something here in Welland. Number 10 is going to be traffic and the lack of it. I'm actually here in one of the busiest intersections in Welland. This is Woodlawn and Niagara Street over here. It is 8:45 in the morning. People are going to work, and you are not in any sort of stop and go traffic. The closest thing you got to stop and go traffic is if you're in line for like Tim Hortons or McDonald's or Burger King for your morning breakfast sandwich. Not to promote those places at all, but you get the idea. Number 11 is going to be the variety of food here. Now, don't get me wrong, this is nowhere near the level that St. Catharines and Niagara Falls has to offer. Obviously, Niagara Falls is a tourist destination, but I thought there was going to be no variety whatsoever. But to my surprise, I can get Jamaican food, Taiwanese, Korean, Chinese, Indian. Right behind me is an Eastern European place that sells pierogies. So if you're into, not having to cook at home every day and you just want to be able to grab Uber Eats, there's actually a decent variety that's in Welland. Now, the only type of food that I can't get here in Welland is Portuguese food. So I have to drive to Hamilton just to get Nando's chicken. Oh well. Number 12 on the list is the amount of summer events that are hosted by the city. I'm actually in Merritt Park, and behind me over here is an area where quite a bit of vendors would set up shop and be able to sell their goods and food. There's also a stage right behind me right over here, and there's concerts, like concerts on the Canal. And if you have a kayak, by the way, this is a pretty cool experience, which I've experienced myself. You can paddle your kayak right up to the edge of the concert and get front row seats. And at nighttime, the people that have kayaks, they have lights on their boats and that kind of stuff. It's such a cool experience. And I would encourage you, even if you visit, just come down to one of the festivals like Afro-Caribbean Fest or the Roaring 20s or something like that, and just experience what it's like to be here. Canada Day, by the way, has festivities at Merritt Island, which is just north of here. And guys, if you're looking for a little bit of a balance and see the cons, the negative parts that I've experienced about living in the city, check out this video right here.